In this sport, it's nice to be fast, but you have to be quick. Here is Paul Lukasiewicz staging the Polish Express, and earlier, Army took a look at this mud vehicle.
It's hard to believe that the tire you're looking at right now will go in excess of 120 mile an hour in less than 2 seconds from the sitting still position it's in now. When that happens, you're going to develop a lot of debris or missile parts, if you will. To deflect the debris, you have a mud flap or a mud deflector here. But I want you to come back here and look at something else. Past the mud deflector, look where the chips of paint are already gone off of this vehicle, where the debris or rocks or chips or whatever at over 120 mile an hour have hit the vehicle. Now you can see what it can do to this body. Just imagine what it'll do to your body if it hits you.
All the more reason for a full face helmet and neck brace. You're kind of sequestered there in the roll cage. The touch of madness. That is Gary Riddick. Lukasiewicz staged on the near lane. Well, not as quick as we have seen. 271 for Gary. And over in that near lane, Paul a 321.
Gary, watching the replay come up, I want you to watch how the cars start to move around. Our 2:53 time, the driver went straight. As you can tell, these guys are working for a living. Neither of these runs were straight.
Yeah, the advantage was to go early in this competition. Right, let's go trackside and talk to Gary Riddick.
Is there a difference in the lanes out there? I know you only run one, but, you know.
Both lanes seem pretty decent, Army. Yeah, both tracks are turned about equal times, and I think it's really good to track here this weekend.
Well, the track early was obviously better than right now with Jeremy Finley's S-Kicker run at 2.531 faster than Joey, Darren, Rodney, and Gary as the competition in Class 5 continues here in Essex Junction, Vermont. Some fine-looking iron. We're coming right back. Stay with us on Trucks and Tractor Power.
Under 6 or under...
Welcome back to Essex Junction, Vermont. There's a look at the Winooski River. Some natural beauty and man-made splendor as well.
Speaking of man-made splendor, look at this Bronco. It's one of the many vehicles on display in the Show and Shine division. Yeah, they're racing here, but they got some beautiful trucks on display trying to win some of the top awards on the special event series.
That's what we call the chrome and candy apple.
Boy, so many youngsters get involved in this. Look at all the colors. It's a husband and wife thing, but right now we're going back to the bad boys of the mud sport.
You won't find much chrome and candy apple here. Ron Pence and Chuck Knoll, a classic matchup. Now earlier, Army took a look at this vehicle.
Across the back of the vehicle, it simply says, gonna beat you like a stepchild. That's exactly the philosophy of this team. And as a matter of fact, this stepchild, since you last saw it in the winner's circle at Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, has been literally taken behind the shed and beat up on himself. As a matter of fact, after a jaunt down in Dixie at Phoenix City, Alabama, Billy Thomas's track, they literally had to rebuild this vehicle from this point forward. They had to put new down tubes on it, had to put a whole new suspension on it. When you do a whole lot of work like this to the front of a vehicle, you've got one major problem. That is, will the vehicle go straight? Now, we know how Chuck drives these vehicles, kind of a kamikaze philosophy, and the decal tells it all.
Now, well, you have to be quick. You have to be straight in Class 5 competition. But there's Knoll, the far lane, Ron Pence and Tater in the near lane. A couple of real veterans. They've gone after each other for a number of seasons. There's your time to beat at 2:53 as Knoll stages.
Either one of these guys could do it if they get the run they're looking for. Pence, very quiet. Knoll, outgoing personality. But they're going to let the vehicles do the talking.
Oh, and a good run laid down by both. Let's check Tater. A 2:58, ever so close. That is second quick thus far, and there's a 2:60 for Chuck Knoll.
That was a good side-by-side run. Both drivers really laying down a good shot. Knoll comes back in that far lane in they call it a pickup truck. It's a fiberglass replica, but again, you can see they are not making straight runs. They're having to really work the steering wheel, Gary.
Here's a look at Pence in Tater. Once again, the track beginning to break up just a bit. So as a result, the time's not quite as quick, but Ron Pence is standing by to talk to Army Armstrong.
Ron Pence, a 2.58. Everybody is a gaggle around the 2.55 to 2.60. How come?
Everybody's running close. There's a lot of competition out here now, and it's all good.
What about the lane choice out there? The lanes look pretty good today, too, Ron.
Yeah, they were pretty good. Pretty good lanes, yeah.
I like the name of this vehicle coming up. You look at the Pence Brothers vehicle, but there's the Dirty Bird. of Gary Osteen out of Daytona Beach, Florida. And he'll be pulling up alongside Jimmy Carr's Never Satisfied. That is a great name for a race car.
Well, both of these guys are great racers. See, look at Carr. He's kind of straddling the rut. He doesn't want to get caught in the rut of the guy in front of him. Meanwhile, Osteen, closest to us, relies on that awesome Ford. When he brought the supercharged Ford engine to this Ford, whoa, big fire on Osteen.
You were speaking of a big Ford?
Yeah, well,
a hot Ford.
When he brought this motor into the sport and showed it could run, it revolutionized the sport. Because right now, Ford's the national point leader, I understand, in this competition.
Well, a 260 for the Dirty Bird, but an expensive 260 as he smoked that power plant. Let's watch again an ISO now on Gary Osteen.
Pop. It's called kicking a rod.
Right out the bottom end. And his run at 260. And here's Army with Gary.
Talk about an expensive pop. I want you to look right here. This is a safety shield, and you really can't see it's blocking the view. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. You actually kicked a rod out of the side of the block. The safety shield contained it. We did get a little bit of a fire out of it, but the driver's okay. Gary, real quick, did you have any idea anything was going wrong on that run?
No, I didn't, Army. It blew the head gasket out, and part of the cylinder head's what it actually blew out. It was just a little bit too lean, and that happens whenever you try to get all out of it you can get out of it.
Wind them tight and break them at times. As we take a look now at the standings, Jeremy Finley continues to lead at 2-5-3-1, then Ron Pence, then Gary, Chuck, and then Joey as Class 5 competition continues here in